everyone, welcome back. Are you ready to bring out some of your badass unicorn and you don't know how? I'm about to show you how. Whatever happened to good old shame? Stay tuned and find out. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to my grand, superior, knowledgeable, wise subscribers. And welcome back to all of those of y'all who have not subscribed yet. If you subscribe, you'll be grand and wise too. So hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. So, what has happened to shame? These days, it's become such a horrible thing. And it doesn't have to be. Yes, there are unhealthy forms of shame, but there's also healthy forms that can really be your friend. Shame within us, if we're feeling shame, it can be a moral compass. It can show us our vulnerability and help us to grow as a better human being. So sadly, we have replaced most shame with pride. We become a country, or maybe even a world, who's prideful about things that the word of Yahuwah clearly says us there is no pride in. And I know that there's going to be people who will say, well, I can't help it, I'm this way, or I was born this way, or this is just who I am. Get over it. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. It is your choice to reject it or to embrace it. That is simply your choice. Are we going to call the kleptomaniac something to be proud of? Oh yeah, he steals, but he can't help it, so just let him. And we should be proud of who he is. I am not saying that you should self-loathe, self-hate. I want you to look in the mirror, and I know this is going to sound cheesy and corny, but it works. Look in the mirror and say, I am good enough. I am beautiful. I am worthy of love. Because you are. The first time I thought those words about my own self, which wasn't that long ago, it brought tears to my eyes. It was huge. I've never thought of myself in that way. But you are. But that does not mean that you embrace sin in your life. We are all born with a moral compass. Right away we know the difference between good and bad, good and evil, whatever you want to call it. And Hollywood, most especially, has shown us that there's so much evil and sin out there that they're now calling okay. Something even to be proud of, and something that we should embrace. So we should embrace a pathway to hell. It's wrong. Calling good evil and evil good. That's in the Word of God. And embracing any kind of evil is wrong. And if you've embraced evil, if you have evil in your life with no shame and you are proud of it, that does not mean I do not love you, that you're not worthy of love. What that means is you need to pull some of that shame back in and get help. And yes, there is help. There is help. And I know of people who have gotten help and who have thrown away the evil in their life. Well, I guess back onto shame more. So unhealthy shame. If you've ever been molested and you feel ashamed for it, stop. Stop. If you are fat and you feel ashamed of your body, stop. Now you should feel ashamed that you're cramming a ton of food in your mouth and not moving because you're killing yourself. You're killing yourself. And the same person who is overly thin because they starve themselves, they're dyslexic or whatever. I'm not saying body shaming. That is wrong. You are who you are, pointing fingers and telling you, oh, you're fat, when you already know that you're fat, or you're too thin when you already know that you're too thin, does not help. But you do need to be ashamed of your behaviors that's causing this. Get help. Discipline yourself. And for some, self-discipline is not enough, and they are going to need more help than that. But there is help out there. All you got to do is Google it, look on YouTube, now. These days, it's as simple as a click and finding someone who is qualified to help. Whether that be a minister who's gifted in deliverance, Yes, it's a thing. You don't have to believe in angels and demons. That's not going to change reality that they're there. So many people have just embraced their demons. They've embraced them. It's even almost gotten cliche to embrace your demons. Embrace your... No, no, no. That's not who you are. That's who they are, making you behave certain ways. There's help. There's deliverance ministers. There are legitimate, good psychologists who teach cognitive behavior therapy that can help you to be able to adjust your mindset in such a way that you gain control back over your life and you can truly be proud of the human being that you are. Or you can truly be proud of the human being that you're becoming. You can truly be proud of taking that first step in getting rid of whatever it is that you should be ashamed about. And on to more unhealthy shaming. Nobody should ever feel ashamed for their race, their sex, their income status. A poor person should never be made to feel ashamed because they're poor. And yet you see it. You see a person in a family whose father shames the son every time that he doesn't score a touchdown, just as an example. That's wrong. It's just wrong. That's not who the son is. That has nothing to do with right or wrong. It's wrong. However, shame does tell us what we should feel guilty about, what is wrong inside of us. Like I said, we were all born with a moral compass. If you feel shame, it's because your moral compass is like, here's the good and here's the evil. Your moral compass is like, look, here you are, there you are, let's bring you back over here. Let's bring you back over here to this side. It's a good tool, a good catalyst for you to gauge who you are and who you want to be. There should come a point in your life where you say, this is who I want to be. And you make sure that it lines up with your values. And if your values make you feel shame, you might want to listen to them. When we go against what we know is right, then we should feel ashamed. It's just plain and simple as that. But if you know that you've done nothing wrong and that there's nothing wrong with your behavior or how you feel, go with it. Go with it. If you know it's ridiculous, you should feel ashamed. And I'm not talking about being playful and silly. I'm talking about ridiculousness. That's such a can of worms. The world's gone ridiculous, y'all. And you know it. It's gone ridiculous. I want y'all to realize that wrong is wrong. And attaching the word pride or embracing it does not make it right. It does not, it will not forever, it will not now, it will not a million years from now. Wrong is wrong, and shame should be attached, and there's nothing wrong with that. There are so many follow your hearts. Just do what you want to do to be happy. Do what makes you happy. That I have to say is leading us right straight on the pathway to hell. It is. The heart is deceitful above all things and will take you straight to hell. And I've got a good one here for you. So we've been on this path of just let them be happy, find their happiness. In the last 10 years, people are more miserable than they've ever been. The rate of depression and anxiety and panic and fear is through the roof. And we've been on the search for personal happiness. It's all about me, taking care of number one. What's going to make me happy? And do your research on the transgender movement, those who have had sex changes because they thought it would make them happier. 99% of the time, they are more depressed, or at least just as depressed after the transformation than they were before. That's not the answer. It's not the answer, y'all. And making yourself happy is not the answer. Happiness is fleeting, and it's almost a lie. You've got to find inner peace and inner joy. And it's not going to come when you embrace what should be shaming you. It's not available. It's not available. That's not how you obtain it. It's simply not. What have we learned? That shame can really be our friend. It can show us our vulnerabilities. And if it shows us our vulnerabilities, then we're more aware of ourselves. And becoming more self-aware is really the first step into becoming more mentally healthy and more mentally stable and finding that joy and peace. Then we can choose if we want to deal with our vulnerabilities or not. There are ways to step out and to overcome and to change your vulnerabilities or get rid of them. I'm not sure that we could ever get rid of them completely. I think that being vulnerable in some ways is a real benefit as a human being, but we can definitely work on bettering them and not being as vulnerable. Shame helps us to maintain humility. And if there's something we need in this world right now, is more humility. It makes us more approachable, more friendly, and it helps us to be more empathetic to others. It keeps us humble. And that is a great thing. Okay, and here's the final thing, and I think the best thing. Shame lets us know that we have a conscience, and yay. Isn't that a great and wonderful thing to know that you have a conscience and you're doing something right? I hope I've shared a little bit with y'all to help y'all bring out more of y'all's badass unicorn and become more mentally healthy and to find a little bit more peace and joy inside. If you find yourself in this situation where you're feeling unhealthy shame, or you've embraced something that you know is shameful and put the word pride over it, reach out to me. If I can't help you, I will find help for you. I will do my very best. Do not be afraid to reach out. And I would love to hear y'all's comments below. Even if it's bashing, I fully expect it from this sort of video. I mean, you can't say anything about shame these days without getting some sort of bashing. So I don't care. I'm over that. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be doing this. I have to be totally okay with it, and I totally am. So thank y'all for watching. Until next time.
That is one badass unicorn.